Hello, we have Ernie here as our very attentive listener, and we have SkippyjonJones by Judy Schachner, I believe. SkippyjonJones. His ears are too big for his head. His head is too big for his body. I am not a Siamese cat, says SkippyjonJones, a rambunctious kitty boy with an overactive imagination. He would rather be El Skipito, his Zorro-like alter ego. Skipito, the great sword fighter, can do anything. He knows just how to save a roving band of Mexican chihuahuas from a humongous bumblebeeto that is tormenting them. Skipito gets the job done, yes, indeedo. You can join SkippyjonJones on his great adventure, but be warned, he's a rascal who will stop at nothing, and he is out to steal your heart. What a forewarning. Fret not, my heart's all yours. SkippyjonJones by Judy Schachner. Every morning, SkippyjonJones woke up with the birds. I'm going to read this one with you. And this did not please his mother at all. Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britchers, ordered Mama Junebug Jones. No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds, she scolded, or ate worms or flew, or did his laundry in Miss Doohiggy's bird bath. Very stern mother. The lecture went on as usual. You've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants, said his mother, about just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse or a grouse, not a moose or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about what it means to be a Siamese cat. SkippyjonJones is no good cat, I guess. But once he was alone, SkippyjonJones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm SkippyjonJones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head. On his way down to earth from my gigantic big bounce, SkippyjonJones shot past his bedroom mirror. Holy guacamole! Exclaimed SkippyjonJones. What was that? So he went up again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, My ears are too big for my head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a chihuahua. Back on land, SkippyjonJones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. I'm going to move Ernie so you can see me. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed into his mouse, SkippyjonJones began to sing in a muy soft voice. My name is Skipito Frisco. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo. Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. Can SkippyjonJones come out of his room now? Asked Jujubee. No, answered Mama Junebug Jones. Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking. In fact, SkippyjonJones wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away in an old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. Ay caramba, who goes there? Asked SkippyjonJones. We go by the name of Los Chimichangos, growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. Who are you? I am El Skipito, the great sword fighter, said SkippyjonJones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. Why the mosquito, dude? Asked Poquito Tito. I go incognito, said Skipito. Do you like rice and beans? Asked Pintolito. See, I love mice and beans, said Skipito. He might be the dog of our dreams, whispered Rosalita. Perhaps, said Tia Mia. But if he knows the secret password... Leaning towards Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. Achoo Pichu! Bless you, said Don Diego. Gracias, said Skipito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego. Yip, yippee, yippito, it is the end of Alfredo Bozito. Skipito is here, we have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad bumblebeeto. Then all of the Chihuahuangos went crazy loco. First they had a fiesta, then they took a siesta. But after waking up, the Chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great bumblebeeto for Skipito to see. A hush grew over the Chimichangos, so great that one could hear a whispered drop. Whiskered drop. Alfredo Busito, whispered the ground. El blimbo bumblebeeto bandito. See, said Poquito Tito, the bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skipito, outraged. See, Poquito continued, red beans, black beans, Boston baked in blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. ¿Por qué? Asked Skipito. Because we are full of the beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Skipito. The dude just wants his beanbags, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? Asked Skipito. Then all of the Chimichangos turned towards Skipito, the great sword fighter. But poor Skipito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The Chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vámonos, Skipito, or it is you the bandito will eato, they cried. Skipito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Skipito Frisco. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bozito flew straight for Skipito until the bean-eaten bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Skipito as he thrust his sword into the air. Suddenly, pop went the bandito, landing on Skipito's sword, and quicker than one could say, Chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bozito, the bumblebeeto bandito. Oh, he popped all the beans right out of him. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippito! Here's our hero El Skipito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from SkippyJon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banguito, Crashito, Papito, Skippito, just in time to see SkippyJon's closet exploding. Great heavens. Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. SkippyjonJones, everyone cried. Hola muchachas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up SkippyJon and covered his head with furry purry kisses. What am I gonna do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. What am I gonna do with you? That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, SkippyJon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I am SkippyjonJones with a mind of my own, and I will bounce on my bed for hours. I know I am a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, SkippyjonJones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said SkippyjonJones. And that was SkippyjonJones. Hope you enjoyed. Mamacita.